Hello, and welcome back to my tea adventure. Now today I thought that we would just sit back, relax, and enjoy some tea. This is a tea adventure after all. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the two teas that we had paired with our sweetheart tea in the last video. I got to kind of briefly enjoy them as I was trying some of the goodies, but I didn't really get to sit down and reflect on the flavors within the tea itself. And that's one of the joys about drinking tea is getting to see the diverse range of flavors and blends that exist. So, today in this video, we're going to be looking at two loose leaf teas from Murchie's. The first one that we're going to try, I've had brewing for a little bit. It's their strawberry shortcake tea. Now, this tea is a black tea with a mix of Ceylon and Kimon leaves, as well as strawberry and vanilla flavoring. So it's very much a sweet dessert tea. And the reason why I chose this one is because since we were making strawberry scones, I thought that it would be nice to have a tea that reflected those similar flavors. So I thought that the strawberry shortcake with the mix of tea and strawberry and vanilla would be a good balance with the strawberry scones themselves. So, let's give it a try. Now, personally when I try tea, I will admit right off the bat that I enjoy a sweeter tea. But to get a good idea of what the flavors actually are, I try not to start by mixing any sugar or milk or cream with it. I try to just enjoy the tea right as it is. So that's what we're doing here. It has a really great strawberry aroma. If you are someone that likes strawberries, this is definitely going to be a tea that you enjoy. There's a little bit of vanilla taste to it. It definitely is a sweeter tea naturally, and it has a very smooth flavor about it. What I'd like to do is I'd like to add a bit of milk to it. When I was looking on the Murchie's website, they did comment how nicely this tea paired with a bit of milk. Yeah, it tastes very bright and fresh and summery. If you're someone who goes out and picks strawberries in the summer, this is definitely going to have some hints of nostalgia for you. I don't know that the vanilla flavoring is super strong. I can taste a little hint of vanilla, but you know, if you're thinking a sweet strawberry shortcake, this isn't as overpoweringly sweet as you might expect. But it's a really enjoyable tea. As someone who likes dessert teas a lot, this is definitely one that I will be purchasing more and I will keep in my tea library. Now, we're also brewing the rose Kanju tea as we enjoy this one. Now I did a little bit of digging because I was not familiar with Kanju tea, and what I found out was that the word Kanju comes from the Chinese word Kung Fu, which we would know as Kung Fu, the martial art. What that means is that it refers to the level of skill in the creation or making of a product. So this rose Kanju tea, in terms of tea, Kanju refers to how the leaves are prepared in very, very fine, thin strips without actually breaking the tea leaf at all. So I guess they're rolled into very fine, thin strips, and this helps to enhance the flavor as they're dried. So that was a really interesting thing that I looked up when I was researching this. In terms of the contents of the tea itself, it's very straightforward. It's these black tea leaves rolled up in Kanju style, and rose petals and some additional rose water flavoring. So it should just be rose and black tea. So that's really exciting. Let's finish this cup, and then we'll move on and enjoy the rose tea and see what the flavors are like in that. Okay, we're gonna try our rose Kanju tea now. It has a really nice vibrant red color. Wow, when you're smelling it, you smell roses. It is definitely the first scent that goes to your nose. Don't smell the tea at all, just smells like roses. So if you really like roses, this is a good cup of tea for you. Now, I have not tried this tea before. This will be a completely unscripted reaction. I have not actually tried a rose tea before, now that I think of it. So, let's give this a try. This is a much more bitter taste than the strawberry shortcake tea. I guess that's kind of to be expected. It is a floral tea rather than a sweet dessert tea. Now, I had talked earlier about the aroma of roses from the tea, but the taste is very strongly black tea. You don't taste the rose as strongly. I'm not sure that it is quite my cup of tea. See what I did there? It tastes fine, but I don't know that rose would be my first flavor choice in a tea. Again, that's primarily just because of my love of sweet teas. Let me add a spoonful of sugar and see if maybe having a bit of a sweetener in it will change the flavor of it. Yeah, that is much more my cup of tea. But that being said, adding the sugar adds so much sweetness that any hint of the rose floral flavor actually disappears. So, you know, if you're wanting to enjoy the tea for what it is, a rose Kanju tea, then adding the sugar probably ruins that flavor composition. Now that's really interesting. I can definitely see why people would enjoy this tea, just not my cup. I will say, I bought this tea, and then as soon as I did, I started getting ads from Murchies saying, "It's Valentine's Day, you should buy this rose Kanju tea." And I went, "Thank you, ads, I've already done that. I'm prepared for Valentine's Day with my rose tea." I definitely like it more with the addition of sugar. Let me try a little splash of milk. Again, the milk and sugar adds a sweetness, a creaminess to it. You can still get a little hint of the rose flavor. The aroma is still very much there. When you lift the cup to your nose, you can definitely smell rose. But yeah, I like the lighter flavoring. Well, in terms of where I would stand in these, the strawberry shortcake, absolutely a tea that I will continue to buy. It was absolutely delicious, nice and sweet and refreshing, reminded me of summer, and that's, you know, a nice nostalgic thing to think about. The rose tea, probably not something that I would buy for myself, but if there's someone I know that enjoys floral teas, this would definitely be something that I would purchase as a gift for someone, because it is a very nice tea, just not for me. Now, the other thing that may have happened, I may have steeped this tea a little bit too long. You know, black teas are supposed to be steeped for 3 to 5 minutes to get the best flavor out of the tea leaves. Because of recording, I don't know that this was steeped for exactly 3 to 5 minutes. It was probably closer to that 5-minute mark. So that may have been something that influenced the strength of the tea. Don't know. That's something that I'll have to pay more attention to as I trial more of these teas. Now that I'm getting a bit more used to it with the addition of the milk and sugar, I'm enjoying it more. Maybe it was just because it was a new tea flavor that I wasn't used to. Maybe that's why I found it just a little bit too bitter. But addition of milk and sugar for my sweet taste buds definitely helped. Well, I think that if you are hosting any sort of a Valentine's Day event and want to serve a tea that fits with whatever meal that you're preparing, both of these options would be good. As a dessert tea, the strawberry shortcake tea is absolutely wonderful. I think it would go very well with a sweetheart tea or any other dessert that you're preparing. In terms of a more standard black floral tea, the rose conjou tea is good. If you're someone who really, really loves floral teas, this could be a great option for you. Thank you, Murchies, for that. I would like to remind you, I am not sponsored by Murchies, but I will be trying a lot of their products in the near future as I make more of these videos and adventure through the land of tea blends. Well, thank you so much for joining me as I try out a couple of the teas that I didn't get to go into quite as much detail as I would have liked to in the actual afternoon tea video. If you're enjoying these, please subscribe, like, share with your friends. I think that creating a tea community and being able to engage with you all is one of the perks of making a channel like this. As I've said before, not planning to be an influencer of any kind, but I would love to be able to connect with you and discuss teas that you love. Or if you have an idea for a themed afternoon tea or some tea recipes that you'd like me to try as part of an afternoon tea, let me know in the comments. Send me a note and I'll try and incorporate it into one of our exciting upcoming teas. Anyway, I think I'm going to finish up my cup here, and I'll see you next time on My Tea Adventure. Cheers!